Welcome everybody to the JBK Show. On this week's episode, we have Cronulla young gun. Now he's becoming a Canterbury Bulldog. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, bro. Bronson Xerri, how have you been, mate?
I've been good, man. Just been training. Thanks for having me, boys, and excited to be here.
No, it's great to have you on, mate. So, I mean, you've been out of the game a long time. How have you been? You know, what have you been doing with yourself? You've been training. You've been obviously keeping to yourself. I've seen you on social media. What have you been up to?
Because you look jacked.
Yeah, you're looking jacked.
I've just been honestly in the gym, man. That's all I've been doing is just training and trying to keep my mental state good, you know. But yeah, I've just been with my family, training, and that's pretty much my life. Yeah.
You've been mainly doing weights, or is it more? Are you more so just kind of keeping up?
Just mainly doing weights, but I'm gonna put cardio into now this year first.
I mean, you still got a year.
Still got a year, bro.
Yeah.
So everyone's saying that I'm more jacked, you know. It's because I've been doing weights for 3 years, you know. So.
Yeah, no, you're looking solid. You were just at field day the other day. You look like you're having a ball.
Yeah. No, it was good. My partying's kind of finished now, so I'm just ready to just rip in this year and get back to it.
Yeah, fully focused. I want to talk about your junior footy because you're only 22 years old, still got a whole lifetime of footy ahead of you. Where did you start? So have you always been a Cronulla boy?
I started at Cronulla, yeah. I was at Aquinas Colts, my junior club, and then I actually went to Bulldogs for 2 years.
Canterbury comp?
Yeah, I was at Moorebank Rams. So the Bulldogs was my actually first rep team I played for, which was the development team. Yeah. No, it was the development side, the under 13s, under 12s, I think. Then my dad was like, let's go back to the Sharks, and then that's when was my first representative team was Harold Mats. Then I played SG Ball, 20s, and so on for Sharks.
Because you'd fit in with both sides. You look a bit leather, you can play for the Canterbury side. Then you got the Aussie,
that's
Cronulla.
it, bro, yeah. So I grew the beard, now I'm playing for the Bulldogs, bro.
I like to see it.
That's
Maltese, Lebanese,
Same. Yeah.
I mean, I want to ask you, like, were you always kind of scouted from a young age? Because you obviously had a lot of speed growing up. You're probably one of the quickest centres in the NRL when you debuted at 18 years old. Were you always touted by, scouts or representatives from clubs looking at you?
Yeah, definitely. When I was all those rep teams I made when I was young, like I was fortunate to get a lot of offers from other clubs, and I was pretty much really, like, I don't want to sound cocky, but I was really hyped up as a young kid, but I landed at Sharks, and that's when my first debut season was at.
Because I actually played against you. You played the year up though.
Yeah, you won't remember him though.
You wouldn't have known me. I was just a substitute coming on. But I remember you being some jacked 14-year-old playing a year up in the 15s. The year you probably won Harold Mats.
Yeah.
And I was like, everyone was saying, Bronson Xerri, he's a gun, he's a 14-year-old. It's just like, as a player you got to watch.
There's those young guns that you know that are just going to go straight up to first grade. Yourself, Nick Kotrich, these big, versatile players. I mean, agile players that are big boys. It's got a lot of speed. Nat Butcher was another young one.
Yeah, even his brother. I used to grow up. Egan was had a lot of hype around him.
They were at South before Roosters poached him, but you just knew that they were going to go play first grade from just watching them on the sidelines.
100%, 100%. And what's funny too was I was a 5'8" halfback coming up. I was never outside back. I just loved having,
what age did you transition from 5'8" to centre?
I think when I went to Sharks, Harold Mats, that's when the coach was like, you're not a half, you're a centre. So
chucked you on the wing and centres.
Yeah. So then he was like, and obviously I grew, I got bigger, and I was not a half. So I think centre's my position, definitely.
Can you still ball play like the Bulldogs? I'm just saying we're looking for a solid number one. Can you still throw them,
bro? Just get me out there. I don't care where I play. I just want to play, bro. Straight out.
Yeah. No. And you played your Harold Mats and SG Ball at Cronulla. Who was the junior club that you were playing for in Cronulla?
Aquinas
Colts. Aquinas Colts.
You went back there.
But when I go back to Bulldogs, I'm gonna claim Moorebank Rams. Moorebank Rams is gonna be officially mine.
Say you're a local junior.
Yeah, local
everyone
junior.
Will get around you.
We had a couple of runners with the Moorebank Rams. We were Bankstown Bulls boys.
Bankstown Bulls, we had rivalry with Bankstown Bulls. Yeah.
But I mean, so you're playing SG Ball, and when do you get called up? You make your debut at 18, 19 years old.
Yep.
When did you get called up, and how was that transition into first grade footy?
So it was, I think I was playing 20s, I think a year or 2 years up. I don't know what it was, but I was still in school when I was playing 20s. And then I had a pre-season with NRL that year. And so I had a pretty good year in the 20s. I made the 18s New South Wales, 20s New South Wales, Australian schoolboys. And then I just got caught up, and I was just like, fuck, let's do it, bro. I was ready to rock. Yeah.
Were you still at school when you debuted?
Nah. So I had one So my year after I graduated, that's when I debuted.
Because they only broke the rule for Sawali. I think he's the only person since you.
Shane Flanagan was trying to get that rule to debut me
Oh,
at
so
17.
you would have debuted?
Well, that's only he would know, but yeah.
Because I could imagine just walking into school after you played first grade. That would just been the best moment of your life.
I think Kevin Graham did that. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah. So yeah, he
walk around like a god.
Yeah, he would have been the man. Yeah, for
but
sure.
Okay. So you make your first grade debut. You have a great season. How was that? Being a young kid around, some pretty prominent players at the Cronulla Sharks, being coached by Flanner. How was your first year in grade?
Bro, honestly, it was unreal. I remember just, in the sheds with like all those players, like even Paul Gallen, Sean Johnson, Wade Graham, Matt Moylan. Like I was just sitting there, I'm like, wow, I'm actually playing alongside these boys. At 18, I was like, this is a big deal for me. And yeah, my debut, man, it flown. It was so quick, that game. But I remember watching it back and I said, wow, that was unreal. And yeah, the year was good, man. Like, obviously, I played 22 games.
13 tries.
13 tries. Yeah, man, I like to say, like, I was just getting started, man. So, yeah.
I mean, and how many seasons did you play in the NRL before everything went down?
One season.
Just the one full season?
Yeah, 22 games, man. That's all I played.
I mean, you were in the mix for Origin.
Yeah, like you were that centre that was kind of like they're going to put you in those emerging players.
Yeah, the emerging teams that they kind of
try and get your season, because in a couple of years you're going to be the centre for the next decade.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Is that something when you're looking to come back, next season, is Origin on your radar? I mean, with the likes of Latrell, up and down with injury, Tommy Turbo doing his hamstring all the time. Are you eyeing out getting back to your best, playing representative footy, or are you just focused at getting on the field, doing the best for the Dogs?
I'm setting my goals like high, man. I know I got to be humble and take step by step. Obviously, the first step is to even make the Bulldog side. Obviously, I got to prove a lot. Still show them that I'm still skillful, still fast, and still can play footy. So first step is obviously Bulldogs, but man, once I want to win a premiership too, bro. You know what I mean? Like my goals are very high. Very, very high.
Yeah. I mean, you probably should have signed with Penrith or Melbourne then.
The Bulldogs are looking solid, but I mean, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So you have your first full season in first grade.
Yep.
November comes around, and you have this drug test.
Yep.
Talk us through everything on your side, because everything's been written about it in media and a lot of publications. You've never really got your chance to tell your side of the story, and every story that you read, you hear, you've taken accountability for it. You've acknowledged that it was a mistake, and it happened, and you've always said that, one day you'll get to tell your side of the story. So just from your end, talk us through that, how everything transpired from when you got tested in November.
So I just remember I was at training, and then, so just to be clear, like I've been tested, I think 8 or 9 times from Howell Mats, which is pretty much unheard of. Some players get like tested twice their whole career, you know what I mean? So I've been
regularly.
So tested. I've been targeted pretty much my whole footy career.
Even junior footy.
Junior, yeah, from Harold Mats to.
Right, you would have been 15.
Yeah.
Shit.
So I've been targeted. Obviously passed all those tests. I just remember them coming in, pulled me aside. Well, obviously they just random testing, but they pulled me aside. Obviously done blood, urine test.
Blood
and urine test.
Do they get the same old ladies and old men to do the blood, or they just watch
old
you piss?
men, just old men.
Okay.
That's all it is. Yeah, very old men to be.
Yeah,
to
they love a stare.
Yeah, they love a stare. And so out of all my tests, I've never done a blood test. So this was my first blood and urine, and 7 months later, took a whole 7 months to notify me that I tested positive to a banned substance.
Yeah, because they announced it in May.
Yeah.
So you did the test in November, 6 months. What, did
I
something get lost in Australia Post? What took
Must
them,
have, man.
What took them 6-7 months to kind of say, okay, we've found out that it's positive? Is that the usual case?
Well, I'm pretty sure when it all came out, all the comments and everyone was saying, why did it take 7 months? Why did it take so long? Like I was honestly prepping for my game to come back because I came from an injury. So like I was ready that week. I was playing against South. So they told me, like I had a whole pre-season, went through the rehab, everything to get my shoulder back to where it was. And then honestly, bro, I think there was an investigation, or I don't know what it was, but it took 7 months to tell me that I tested positive.
And who broke it to you? Did the team have to break it to you?
Nah, so this, I had like 3 missed calls on my phone. I'm like, what's doing? It was like 8 o'clock. I'm like, who is this? Like from a random number. I'm like, what's going on? Then the next time they called, I answered. I said hello, and then he introduced himself. He goes, hello, this is so and so from Asada.
Yeah.
I'm at the front of your house. You have tested positive to such and such. You need to come down. I've been at the front of your house for, I think he was out the front for an hour or two. I need you to come down. I need you to give me your phone, your laptop, provide anything you can provide, and pretty much said, like just come down, meet me at the door.
What are you feeling when you hear that straight away?
My heart dropped on my I just was like, what the fuck? Oh, everything just came crumbling down, and then I opened the door and he literally seen. I think he had a bit of remorse. Like I think he had a bit like it was a bit sorry. Because I had
I mean, put into context. You're a young kid.
Yeah,
how old are you? You're 20 years old.
I was 19, I think.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And you know, like you hear that phone call.
Yeah.
Your stock in the NRL was on the rise.
Yeah.
I'd imagine your heart would just sink.
Yeah, I think I had watery eyes, and he's seen it, and he was just like, fuck. I was like, hold on. Before I gave him my phone, I had to make a quick like phone calls to my mum and my partner at the time. I was like, you just need to get home now, and so once they took my phone and laptop, they left me just at home by myself. And I was just sitting at the lounge. I remember just sitting down and then just bawled my eyes out.
Did they say why they needed your phone and laptop? Like,
nah.
You're not a criminal.
Well, I honestly was like, I was 19. I was shocked. I was like, whatever they were saying, I was like, yeah, whatever. Like I was
trying
just
to go along with
you know what I mean?
Did you contact any, get any legal advice? Like if they're, going all out and seizing everything, did you get any legal advice?
Well, I wish back if I was to take the time back, I would have at least rang my lawyer or something at the time. Like I was just giving whatever he was saying because I was just in such shock. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just listened to what he said, and then I just remember sitting down, bawling my eyes out, waiting for my partner and my mum to get home, and then just to break it to them, and then from then it was just it was torture. It was honestly a big life lesson of mine.
Like I said earlier, I mean, you've acknowledged it in the past. You've taken accountability for it. Is there do you have any regrets from the whole situation? Would you, if you had your time again?
For sure.
What are your learnings from it?
Oh, for sure. It's obviously it is my biggest regret of my life. But obviously, I've taken full responsibility for it. No one, this was all on me and my own wrongdoing. So, what I've learned from it is, I'm so grateful to, when I go back to football for what I had and what I missed out on the 4 years. I'm just ready to come back and repay my family and, all my loyal fans too. So, yeah, I'm just keen to get back and show everyone there that I've learned from my lesson and that I've grown from it. And yeah.
Because when it went down and the media was bashing you and everything like that, you came out and said, I just want to make my family proud.
Yeah.
And, not everyone knows what's going on and what went down. Was there anything that the media didn't report on that's missing from the story that would kind of shine a light that you haven't done really anything wrong? Or?
Because like you said, you've been tested in the past.
Yeah.
This is the first time that you've tested positive. Did you kind of at the time want it to be known that this was something that I'd just done in the off season? I've never played with the substance before. What was going through your head when things were getting reported that you kind of wanted clarity on?
Well, there's a lot of things, to be honest. Even just like what some of the comments are just from fans or the footy fans that are saying, that I was on it my whole career, and I was
people calling out family members in the comments. And
stuff
like
and that I was the player I was because of it, which doesn't make sense because I took it in the off season and it was one injection. So tell me how I was the player that I was, if for that reason. You know what I mean? So. It's all right, bro. Like it is what it is, and I've accepted it, and I'm just ready to move on and have a good year at the Bulldogs.
Were you turned off footy when it went down?
Like ridiculously. Like the first 2 years of the suspension was probably the hardest 2 years of my life. I suffered really bad from depression, and my mental state was ridiculous. Like I didn't even watch football. I couldn't watch it, couldn't hear it, didn't even want to touch a football, and just hated it. But yeah. And
during that period, did like the NRL or the Sharks reach out, help you out at all?
I'm not going to say anything. Let's just say I changed my number when it all happened. So even if they did try and reach out, like I wouldn't have known. But like I said before, like it's all good. It is what it is, man.
You've put it all in the past.
I've all put it in the past. Like I'm ready just to move on, bro. And that's what it is.
Good on you. And how were your family throughout this whole ordeal? Like I know you said you would have struggled mentally.
Yeah. That was kind of the hardest thing for me is putting my family through it all. Like I got nieces and nephews and that all looked up to me, and you know they all have my last name. You know what I mean? Like they got to go through it too. You know, not only that, like the week that I got busted, they were at the front of my house from 7 a.m. till 8 o'clock at night for a whole week. So my family couldn't leave. You know what I mean? We were stuck in that. We were literally treated like we were criminals. Like we were stuck in our house. We couldn't leave. And I remember one time, my mum or dad, I don't know who it was, they left, and honestly they were just rushed with cameras, and I was just like, I can't believe I'm putting my family through this, you know what I mean? So
especially at 20 years old, and that's one thing that I can't get around about the media.
Yeah.
Is they claim to be, you know, so
pro player,
a moral high ground, and really want to very pro player welfare. But I mean, in your case, like you said, it's one mistake. People make mistakes, and you've taken accountability, but they really gave you a hard time in a lot of publications.
I mean, like 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Like, and as much as it's your fault, like leave the family alone. At least let them live their life as well. Like let them kind of deal with it and help you out.
But I mean, it's good to see that you're on the up. You're training.
Yep.
You've just signed with the Bulldogs.
Yep.
How did this all come about? Like you know, your dealings with. I'm sure you would have been chased by a fair few clubs. Coming back for 2024. Were there any other clubs that reached out?
They were. So it all started when I was so I had to get a new manager, not for any specific reason. I just wanted to start fresh. So I knew once I could sign with the manager, I knew that's when the offers would start coming. So I signed with my new manager, Matt Desira, and I remember I'm just at home, and then he calls me. He goes, Gus Gould wants to meet with you, and I was like, mind you, this was like, you know, I was still a bit iffy, like I wasn't, you know, training really good, like I was just in a bit of a vulnerable spot in my life, you know. So when he reached out to me, I was like, Gus Gould wants to meet with me. Fuck, let's do it. Like I'm keen. He goes, all right, no worries. Let me speak to him and we'll get back to you. I said, no worries. Calls me in the next 5 minutes. He goes, you free tomorrow? I said, I'm free tomorrow, bro. Let's meet.
Where did he meet you? Joe Bell's Cafe?
Joe Bell's Cafe. I'm like, really? Joe Bell's Cafe? I'm like, isn't that like a bit sus? Like everyone's there, you know what I mean? Like
middle of Belmore.
I'm like, fuck. I was like, oh, whatever, you know?
Shout out to Josephine. Yeah. Great cafe.
Yeah. So, but I remember just going to bed that night. I'm just like, man, like this has lifted me. This is like,
it's a morale booster.
Yeah, and then I'm just starting to think of everything, you know? Like I'm like thinking about me playing for the Bulldogs. Like, would that be the club that I want to play for?
Especially because you played a bit of junior footy.
Yeah,
well.
Like, and I'm just like, it makes so much sense, bro. Like I was Sharks junior, Bulldogs junior. Like it's only right for me to come back to the Bulldogs. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, so when I the next day I meet Gus, and man, he was unreal. Like so genuine and so nice to me, and I was honest with him, and he was just telling me, you know, he has a big vision for the club in like the upcoming years, and he sees me in that vision, and I'm just like, I walked away from that meeting. I'm like, you know, this is the club that I want to play for.
What's that Gus Gould interrogation like? Is he really like stern with you, or was he jovial?
Oh, look, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I was nervous. I was nervous as going to meet him, but at the same time, man, he was just, you know, he was telling me everything I wanted to hear. But man, I walked away and I'm like, yeah, I was pretty much sold from that first meeting. But to answer your question, how many other offers? They weren't offers, but they were.
They just put out their interest.
Interest, 100.
Yeah.
So after that meeting, I said to my manager, bro, I'm going with the Dogs. I said, I'm going with the Dogs. He goes, bro, he goes, I understand you. I know you're excited. He goes, bro, let's just go, you know, test the market. Let's see what you can get.
Yeah.
And he came back to me, he goes, this club. Pretty much.
Every NRL
pretty
club
much
said, yeah.
Every club, I reckon there was 2 clubs that weren't interested.
Because I reckon maybe
any
like
club that needs a centre.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like a month after your suspension, everyone was like, okay, 4 years is up. Every club's going to be looking to get you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's been instances in the past. Sandor Royal came back, signed with the Melbourne Storm. You know, I mean, Paul Gallen went through a bit of a hiccup as well. You're not the first player to get banned for substances, and you won't be the last.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've kind of learnt from your lesson. Now you've got a whole decade of football ahead of you. What are you most looking forward to about playing at the Bulldogs?
I think the fans, they just get amongst it so much, bro. Like I can just feel like when we play a game at Belmore, man, like the crowd that will just get around us, and I'm just keen. Even the boys, man. Like I've grown up with a few of the boys there. I'm just keen to get in there and, you know, mix amongst them, and I just feel like I can play very good football at that club, and hopefully I get the opportunity to play, and I'm ready to show everyone.
Because as fans, Reed Marnie, Matt Burton, Kick Out. You add Bronson Xerri to that now. It's like, we're getting excited. We're like,
That's honestly what sold me, man. He was like to me, even because when I met Gus, Serrato hasn't signed. Like the club, the coach was, I'm not sure who the coach was at the time.
It was Mick Potter, caretaker.
So once Serrato signs, I'm just like, mate, this club is on the rise, because I've heard nothing but good things about Serrato.
He's got a good rap.
Yeah,
so what you're saying is if Trent Barrett was the coach, you're not signing?
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I mean, have you interacted with any of the boys that are currently there? And has Serrato reached out to you at all?
Yeah, so Gus wanted me to, I think it was Serrato actually. I had a coffee with Serrato, and that was our first time. No, the first time I met Serrato was when Gus brought me into the club to show all the new facilities. He's like changing the gym around, and he's making a lot of good moves in the gym. Mm-hmm. So I met Serrato then the first time, and it was a good interaction. He was a very genuine guy, and then he messaged me saying, let's go for a coffee and sit down and really talk and get to know each other. And I was like, sweet, let's do it.
Joe Bells again?
No, this wasn't at Joe Bells. This was at down his way in Penrith.
Okay.
So drove all the way to Penrith and had a coffee with him, and pretty much was just like, told him everything, was really honest with him. I told myself before, I said, look, if he's going to be my coach, man, I want to open up to him and show him, that I'm genuine, and I'm ready to be honest and move on. So I told him the whole story, and it was a good chat, and I felt really good walking away from that. And yeah,
with the Bulldogs, you've obviously signed with them, or you're going to be signing with them for 2024.
Yeah.
But your suspension goes till November of 23?
Yeah, so when are you allowed to come back and train?
So I've been told I can come back 2 months before my ban. So I've been told the 25th of September, I'm allowed to come back and train with the team, which I'm not sure how that's going to work, because September's the finals and off-season, whatever it is. And I think maybe I might come into the club and do my own training, at least be around the club, just
get your head amongst the boys.
Even around the staff. I'm sure the staff will be around there. So November 25th is official date. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we've signed up for platinum memberships, and we couldn't be more excited as Bulldogs fans. No, but I don't think a lot of people know what the rules are while you're in a no compete. Situation due to the ban. So what are you allowed to do and what are you not allowed to do? Like, I mean, does it affect your training with anyone as well? Because
let's just say I'm not allowed to do pretty much nothing.
Nothing in competitive sports. Can't play recreational basketball. No Oztag.
No Oztag. I've tried Oztag. Bang, they shut me down on Oztag.
Touch football.
Honestly, bro, I wouldn't even try. I swear to God, I don't even try no more. I'm just buying my time, and that's it, man. Like, I've tried Oztag. I tried sprint. I can't even do sprint training with Roger Fabry. Like, I can't do.
Why is that restricted?
Because he's a professional coach that's under the SADA, and I'm not allowed to associate or be trained by a coach.
He trains a pretty good crew of some of the fastest players in the NRL. Yeah. So and you'd want to maintain your speed while you're in this off period. Yeah. So you can't even train with Roger.
But special shout out to Roger, man. He's deregistering from all that just to train me. So he's a loyal one, and I'm ready to rip in with him when
he's
we
one
can.
Of the goats. We trained with Roger one session, and he said, and to quote him, I look like I should be running in the disabled team. He's very harsh with you, very stern.
He's the best. He's the best. No, shout out to Roger, man. He's the best.
We weren't born with the speed gene.
I don't have speed, but after one session with him, I was faster.
Bro, 100%. You should have stuck with him, man. He would have made you faster.
No. I mean, and on your way back to the Bulldogs, is there anything that you want to change in your game that you've been like in preparation over the last years of training, or are you just trying to get back to the footy that you were playing?
Yeah, look, Serrato and Gus, actually specifically Serrato, he was like to me, what can you do from this time now to come back better and be a smarter footballer? Like, what can you do? And I really thought about what can I do, and this year I'm just going to really watch the game. Obviously, it's changed a lot. It's gone a lot faster, and
which probably be better for you.
Yeah, but at the same time, man, I got to get my fitness up. I got to get my speed up, and I'll make a few changes. I think the big change for me, the big surprise that would be the wrestle and all that. Being out for 4 years, it will be a big shock to me, which I think Bulldogs are going to put me into. They do jiu-jitsu. Yeah. So I think Gus told me he's going to.
They've had a few UFC guys come on board.
Yeah. So I think he's going to put me in jiu-jitsu once a week, I think, just to get that kind of wrestle in, and And I'm sure, bro, like, I've been playing the game since, I was 4 years old, bro. Like, it's going to come naturally. And
because you're saying you're a bit out of shape, but, I mean, looking at you, you're not out of shape at all.
What are you benching at the moment? I mean, we asked Nico that last week. What are you benching?
Bro, straight up, I'm not that strong, eh? Like, I bench, I think, what are we saying, for one?
No, give us a three. Give us a 3 RM. One's like for power lifters that just make noise in the gym.
I reckon I think I can do at least 130.
That's solid.
That's good. It's, yeah.
Come down to Summer Hill Gym for a session. We'll see if we can compete with each other.
Surrey Hill, Summer
Hill.
No, what gym's that?
It's like Canterbury, Ashfield area.
Yeah, right.
Solid facility.
Yeah.
But we'll see if we can compete with Bronson Xerri.
Yeah,
I mean, would be a bad video.
Let's do it.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if I was a prospective club and I saw you, I'm just saying, he doesn't look like out of shape at all.
Well, that's 3 years just in the gym, bro.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm just, add some cardio.
There was a period there during this last 3 years where you were rumoured to be heading to the NFL. What were the discussions like there?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you joined the likes of Jared Hayne that tried to go over.
Yeah.
It was almost successful. Val Holmes with the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Were you going to go down the New York Jets route?
So, when did this come about? I think it was the second year of my suspension. So, last year, I think. The start of last year, maybe. One of the manager at PSM, I think it was Jordan Malata's manager or someone like that, just gave me a call or messaged me on Instagram. He goes, give me a call, I've got something for you. I said, sweet. Gave him a call and he goes, what do you think about giving NFL a crack? Because it's not under the ASADA. Like, that's the only sport you can play.
They have their own drug testing policy.
Yeah, that's the only sport I can play. I said, say less, man. I'll
You're doing nothing,
I'm doing nothing. I'm sitting at home just going to the gym. Like, bro, get me over there now. Anyways, so I was going to do what Val Holmes did, do the IMG Academy in Florida.
Pacific program.
Yeah, do like, I think it was like 3 months, 3-month program, and then try and get drafted. So I was honestly training for it. Like, I actually was training for it. I was doing my own thing, watching NFL, even playing the game, bro. Just trying to learn.
Madden.
Yeah, because honestly, before I didn't know much about it, man. It's a different, completely
different game.
Yeah,
it's not
completely.
FIFA.
No, exactly. So of course I get I think it was an email, or my lawyer calls me. Hey, bro, if I just got an email or got told, if you go to America and give this a go, your 4 years restarts when you come back.
No.
How does that work again?
And
bro,
I said, what, really? I said, was that actually true? And he goes, yeah, man. So you got to decide if you're gonna give this a crack, or you're gonna stay and do your time and stay in the NRL.
And that's a tough decision, man. Because
I honestly was sitting there. I was like, I sat down with my dad and my mum. I was like, man, like, if I crack NFL, that's life changing, man. Like, that's
like, you see Jordan Mailata, his contract's worth the entire NRL salary.
Yeah. And it's a mad lifestyle to live in, man. In America, like, fuck. But
I mean, you've got the qualities to make it in terms of speed, agility. The only struggle would be learning the plays 100%, and how they play.
100%. And I'm just like, I had a good think about it. I'm like, man, like, it's a big risk. And I'm just like, I'm just going to buy my time. If they want me to be punished this whole 4 years, I'll do it. Whatever, I'll do it. So I just...
Because the benefit you had over Val Holmes and Hayne is you're much younger, probably a bit more athletic and fast.
That's what they were saying to me, man. They were like, a linebacker or what's
running back or
running
wide
back.
receiver.
Yeah.
You definitely.
So that's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was going to go over to the IMG Academy and learn it all. But yeah, 4 years restarted.
That was right at the time. So we kind of bumped into you at this like OzTag tournament. And we're at this OzTag thing.
Yeah.
And we seen them, we're like, Jesus, I hope he's not playing because he'll absolutely carve us up. And I think you were about to head off, or it was just rumoured that you were going to go.
Yeah.
In the news at the time. But do you think that you made the right decision?
Well,
I guess we never know. Yeah.
Guess we never know. Eh? Like, I could have made it by now, and be on the millions. You know what I mean?
Maybe playing alongside Brady or something like that.
Yeah, but no, look, I'm happy just to buy my time here and get back to the NRL and hopefully have a successful career, man.
I mean, as a Bulldogs fan, thank God you didn't go. We need some good centres, bro.
Has it felt like a long 4 years, or has it gone fast?
You know what's funny, bro? Everyone says to me, man, it's gone quick, man. I said, for yous, yeah. For me, no. I think this 9 months, 10 months is going to be the slowest 10 months of my life, but it is what it is, man. That's just 9 months that I can train and get ready for it.
No, 100%. And I don't think many people know like what goes on, in your everyday life of people coming up to you on the street or family members, relatives asking you what happened, how did this happen,
Especially at that field day, man.
I imagine, yeah, exactly
Well.
right. How have you been managing that? You know, have you just come to terms with, this is what my life is going to be like for the next 3 years, and are you looking forward to kind of getting back on the field and putting it behind you?
Yeah, bro. To be fair, like the first 2 years of my suspension, I barely went out, man. Like I didn't party. I didn't really show my face because obviously I was embarrassed, and I didn't know how I was going to react to what people would say to me. Then I was like, you know what, I gotta get on with my life, bro. So I started to show my face around, and to be honest, bro, like no one ever. I haven't came across a guy or a girl that has said something wrong, like bad to me. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, you're a pretty good guy.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
it's
say
all
anything.
over social media is what all the hate is. You know what I mean?
I can say 100%. I agree with you. Like even through our backlash period that we got over social media, I never get a bad interaction in person. It's always just online.
Always online.
Yeah, so you would have received a barrage online.
Oh, ridiculous, bro. Like, yeah. But at the end of the day, like I put myself in this position and I just got to accept it. But yeah, man, like when I go out, the worst thing I get is, are you still on it? Are you still on the gear? Are you still on roids? I was like, bro, I get tested once a month, man. That's my answer every time. I get tested once a month. No, I'm not on it. No. And
you couldn't even get away with taking too many Panadols or something.
Yeah, bro, yeah.
Actually, I was going to go back to when I think you first got suspended. You put through like an appeals process, or you went through some appeals process?
Fuck, bro, wasn't that a process, yeah.
What was that like? 'Cause I remember like...
Man, I went to a tribunal and I was seeing my lawyer in the city here like twice a week just to do all this paperwork, and I was seeing like, I was just seeing a lot of people, and I went through a tribunal, tried to fight it, tried to at least get 2 years off.
Yeah.
But
they didn't budge
at all. I mean, they pretty much
It sounds like
whatever.
this whole process, they've not budged at all. They're just trying to attack you as much as they can, give you no
I honestly,
freedom.
like, I look back now, I said there was honestly no point of that tribunal. Absolutely no point, yeah. It was just a complete waste of time. And
It didn't add on any time though?
Nah, I think 4 years is the maximum you can get unless, you know, like you do something that's going to officially, like, rule you out of the whole...
Go to America, they give you another 4 years.
Yeah. But yeah, they couldn't add any more time. I was just hoping at least, you know, they could understand I was a 18, 19-year-old kid, you know, made a mistake, one mistake in my life, you know, that I'm going to, you know, live forever with, and they just didn't budge, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, and I mean, you've taken responsibility for it, and as a 22-year-old, I mean, the way you've kind of held yourself, especially just even my interaction with you, like, you obviously know what you want to do going forward.
Yeah.
You've taken accountability. But going back to footy, do you see yourself, like you've seen some of the speedsters that are playing the game right now?
Yeah.
Josh Adokar being up there, Dom Young,
Jason Saab.
Jason Saab's a speedster. Do you think you can compete with the likes of these guys, especially when you go back and start training with Roger?
I think you should ask Roger that, because when he came to me, he goes, Bronce, you're the fastest out of all of them. And I go,
that's a very good opinion.
Big statement.
Yeah.
And I said, bro, like that's where I want to be. I want to get back to that, Rog. And he goes, let's get this confirmation, and I promise you, I'm going to get you back to that. Man, I think I've got to lose at least 2 or 3 kilos. I think that's what he said. At least I'm 102 kilos now. I like to be at least 99, 98. Maybe a bit heavier. If I can have this speed that I was at this size, man, I'm cheering.
100%.
But I think it's a bit unlikely. I've got to lose a bit of weight.
And with footy, you're going to go play with the Bulldogs. Do you back yourself catching a Matt Burton bomb at training?
I hate that, bro. That was my fear. I hated catching bombs, man. I remember I played fullback for one game. Cameron Smith's, how many games did he play? He played 400 or something?
350.
350.
No, I think he cracked the 400.
Yeah, it was his 400th game at Amy Park, and I was playing fullback, and I was dreading it, man. I was like, Cam Munster or someone's going to put a bomb up for me, man. I'm going to shit my pants, bro. And I was like, nah, I hated it.
Is that your preference? Centre. Over winger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I would love to play anything, but centre is my position. It's what I'm comfortable with, and I think that's what's my best position is there.
Because that's something I want to conquer in life. I want to catch a Matt Burton bomb. I feel like of all the things in rugby league, that's probably the toughest thing to do right now.
I reckon that'd be a good video for you to anyway. Come to training and get him to do a bomb and see if he can catch it.
Now, we always ask footy players that we have on.
Yeah.
Who is some of the toughest opponents that you've come up against, especially, you know, going up against some other big name centres? Who's been the toughest in your career so far?
Bro, I think it was my second NRL game. I came up against Latrell, and that's when he was playing centre. And I was at Roosters, and I was like, fuck, man. My second NRL game, I'm coming up against Latrell Mitchell, the best centre in the game. I'm just like, fuck, man. anyways, came up against him. I was just looking at him. I said, "Far out, man. This is Latrell Mitchell." But nah, man, it was crazy. Even I played against Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. He was crazy. You know, Tedesco, all them boys, man.
Yeah, wow.
Cooper Cronk, Cameron Smith. Yeah, man, it was crazy.
Was there ever, like, when you debuted, was there ever like a welcome to the NRL moment where you kind of got bashed, or you kind of maybe had a good run and just feel like...
it was that game against the Troll, because I think that was the worst game I've ever played. I dropped like 5 balls, man. I got absolutely tortured online. Like, I honestly thought after that game I wasn't going to play NRL again. Like, it was one of the worst games I've had like ages, man.
Yeah, the back end of the season you came good.
Then I started to get consistent. I was like, thank God, man, thank God.
Were there players that you, like their styles that you enjoyed playing with? Like at Cronulla, you had Wade Graham. Was he on your side?
Yeah, bro.
Did he make it a lot easier for you being your first year in first grade?
So I started off the right side with Sean Johnson and Britton Nakora. I think my winger was always mixed, bro. I had Josh Morris, Dukes, Sione Katoa. It always changed.
Chesney Hill boy, Sione.
Yeah. I love him, bro. He's a good guy. But when he goes, man, you're gonna go on the left side with Chad Townsend and Wade Graham. I remember our first game, bro. We just clicked, and like Wade Graham's like a second half, like, you know what I mean. He's such a good ball playing second row, so we just clicked, and I was like, that's mad. Like we played some good football together, man. So
he's probably one of the most underrated second rows ever. Doesn't get the credit he deserves for being a good...
At one point, he was the biggest 5'8" of all time.
Yeah, hard.
He's a big fella.
Yeah.
We do this with a lot of our guests that we have on. It's fill in the blanks with your opinion. I want to start you off. So, blank will win the comp in 2023. I know you haven't watched footy in a while. You've taken a good
It's rude not to
off
say, bro, the Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs?
Hi, Bulldogs.
I definitely think we're going to crack the 8.
I mean, with the signings we've got, and, you know, Phil Gould, Soraldo,
bro.
I reckon there's a chance for top 4.
Yeah, 100%.
Blank is currently the best winger in the comp.
Sione Katoa.
I agree. He's extremely underrated.
He's a mad finisher, bro.
He's coming off an injury, but
he had a great World Cup.
And bro, he's so hard to get down, bro. I remember at training, man. He's tough to get down.
Because he's not massive and he's not tall.
He's just strong, bro.
Yeah, he's just so strong, and he's such a good finisher. Like, you can tell when someone's going to the corner and finishing a try like that at his size, he's got to have some sort of massive core strength where he just can fend off players and finish.
Very strong.
Blank has been your favourite teammate to play with.
Oh, this is on the spot, man. Favourite. Shit.
You're not outing anyone, but you're just saying, you know, like, I enjoyed playing alongside this bloke.
Oh, let's just say Sean Johnson, bro. Like that, he was mad to play with, bro. Fuck, like Sean Johnson, mad's. I grew up watching him. You know what I mean? Like
second coming of Benji.
Yeah,
almost, you know what I mean?
100%. Sean Johnson will be.
And I mean, we already asked this, but blank. Where will the Bulldogs finish this year? We think it's going to be the top 8. Like you said, for what Gus is building there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the fans are going to be excited. Like you coming on board in 2024.
Yeah.
It's just looking good. It's good. It's a good time to be a Bulldogs fan.
Yeah, the club's on the rise, man. The club is on the rise, and I think Serrato and Gus is going to lead them into a premiership, and if not this year, let's hope next year, bro.
And I want to go back and just stress for what you've been through over the past 4 years. I don't envy your position. You know, with media all over you, publications, people on social media speculating online.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time for jumping on the podcast and bearing all. It's one of your first interviews since everything went down.
Yep.
I think you've held yourself, over the last 3-4 years extremely well. Do you have a message to anyone? Like you said, you went through a little bit of a depression and mental struggles. You had a family support system, but do you have a message to anyone that might down the line might go through the same thing, or people that have struggled mentally in the past? How did you cope with it, and what would your message be to them?
I just think have good people around you, man. I think that's family, and you find out your real friends when you go through stuff like this. So this suspension, I just had my family and my close friends, bro, and I can't shout them out enough. They helped me through a lot, and pretty much my message would be just have real ones around you, and family is everything, and just speak out. Your mental state is very important, and I think everyone should speak out and get help.
Awesome, brother. No, appreciate your time. Great message, and thank you for coming on and being honest.
Hey, mate, once you're in Belmore, happily show you around.
Yeah, you got to come over for a date to barbecue.
I'll be waiting, bro.
Yeah,
for sure. I'll be waiting for it. Nah, thanks for having me, boys.
Thank you, bro. Legend.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, boys.